Kral, and this is Kral Space. I'm reporting to you not live from my closet. Oh God, guys, I'm having a hard time. There almost wasn't an episode today. I'm just gonna get it out of the way and try not to talk too much about it the whole episode, but I can't make any promises. My cat was hospitalized yesterday. My booty bear, the love of my life, the thing that makes my soul. Wait, what? The thing that makes the sun rise in my soul? That's a saying? I don't know if that's a saying. Actually, I had a friend of mine tell me that that's a saying that a heroin addict used about heroin on the show Addicted or Intervention, whatever that show is. And I don't know, I sort of adopted it because I thought it was nice. But it originally comes from a heroin addict who was talking about heroin. And I'm talking about my cat. I got to take a sip of water. Great start to the thing, huh? So yeah, my cat was hospitalized yesterday. Oh, I'm fucked up, man. I'm really fucked up about it. A lot of good news though. It looks like he might come home today. I don't know about you, but I always I don't want to get too excited about him coming home today and him being okay and get my hopes all up. I don't know. I'll feel better when he is home with me. So basically he was panting. Yeah, he panted a couple of days ago. And that it was weird. Cats aren't supposed to pant at all. And I thought it was weird, but then he stopped. And I was like, okay, I guess that's okay. And then yesterday he was panting a lot. And so then I Googled it and the Google said, is it the Google or just Google? Oh God, I'm old. Google said that it's severe health stuff. So I called my vet and my vet was like, no, you're not coming in here. You're going to the ER right now. So then they gave me the number of the ER and I called the ER and they were like, yeah, when you arrive, make sure you call. How fucking scary, right? They're like, make sure when you call, you tell them that your cat is panting. A nurse will come out right away. We will not make you wait. Then we'll put a critical on your cat because this is a life or death situation. Oh my God, it was awful. So my little animal, my best friend in the world, oh God, I love him so much. He was panting, but he was, laying about having his day and I stuff him in his little carrier, which he hates. He bit me. He's never bit me. He bit me on the way there when I was trying to pet him because he was trying to get out. I mean, how scary, right? And then when you get there, they did come out right away. They've been so nice. And then the woman comes out and she has me sign a thing that was, I either choose a DNR, and if you're not familiar with that it's a do not resuscitate, or a CPR. It's so fucked up, the healthcare system with even just animals. So signing the CPR, they're like, you're authorizing us to charge you $500. Now look, if they were like, this whole thing's going to cost you $500,000, I would spend the rest of my life paying that medical bill off. This animal, and I know there's people out there like, it's just an animal. This animal has been there with me through a lot. He was there. I got him 2 months after I cut my father out of my life. He was there through that horrible transition, that horrible time that, a lot of my, I've talked about it, my family kind of chose sides and mine was not really the side. Not all of my family, but yeah, he was there through that. The death of my dad, the death of, I've lost, I don't know, probably 15 people in the last 9 years. It's probably way more than that actually, which is such a bummer, right? But it's so sad that what if I was luckily my credit's good. I have emergency credit cards. I have savings. But can you imagine going to the vet and them being like, oh, you don't have $500. There's no way you can get $500. All right, well, we're going to not let your best friend live. That's insane. That makes me want to I don't know. There's got to be other options. But of course I do the CPR, do whatever you got to fucking do, right? So they take him in. I held it together while he was in the car because I knew that he was scared and he also was having, the panting is him having problems breathing. So I didn't want me to be fucking hysterical because animals can sense that shit. And oh, they were so nice though. The woman who had me sign the DNR, I'm shaking. I can barely write my own name. And and then I was I'm trying not to cry. And she's like, you can cry. And I'm like, well, Henry's gone now, so I can sob my heart out. Oh, fuck. The last 24 hours have been really awful. I took 3 Benadryl last night, which isn't not that much. Normally if I take a Benadryl, I take 2. So it's not like I OD'd or something, but just to get me to go to sleep. And then I woke up at 3 a.m. and just tossed and turned until 8 a.m. He's just not slept here in 9 years. So apparently they wanted to keep him overnight because he was having a hard time breathing, and they couldn't figure out what the problem was. They thought, maybe he has asthma. My fucking cat had asthma. The comedian in me, that'd be so, giving him an inhaler all the time. I don't wish that. He does not have that. Turns out he has a thyroid problem, which actually makes sense for a lot of slight changes I've seen in the last 6 months, but not anything like the doctor was like, yeah, they don't really show you a lot of changes. I was like, I've noticed a few things, like he lost a lot of weight in his upper body and he's always hungry, but he's fat. So he's always really hungry. And so, yeah, I guess, and how I've been putting on his stress t-shirt because he's been getting so stressed out. And I was just like, oh, he's just anxious. So I put this shirt on and he calms right down. And that's common. Like I've looked it up. It's like how we have stress blankets, like weighted blankets or whatever. It's so weird to be in here and not hear him try and get in here. I'm so fucked up, you guys. I almost didn't record today, but I heard from the vet this one. I wasn't going to record it until I heard from the vet. Yeah, they put him on oxygen all night, and then they did his thyroid, and he has hypothyroidism, which I know a little bit about because I had thought that I had it a year or so ago, but really doctors are awful. They're so awful. I thought I had this life-changing immune deficiency disease or whatever, or immune compromised disease and they wouldn't help me because I was getting so sick all the time. I had all these symptoms that pointed to hypothyroidism. And doctors wouldn't help me. My doctor was just like, oh, obviously I have a lot of poop problems. I either it's all or nothing, man. So sometimes I don't poop at all for days and days. I've never told, I don't know if I've ever told you guys that, but so that they just tried to pump me full of medication. And I was like, I think I need blood work. So after several doctors and several demands of I have health problems, they finally did my blood work, and it turned out I had just a vitamin D deficiency, and I know there's a lot of dick jokes in there, so spare me. It's hacky. So if you're thinking to yourself that that's a fun, she needs some vitamin D, and you laughed about that, you're a hack. That's grumpy. I don't care. And then I had too much vitamin B in my system, which both of those things caused everything that I was going through. So I know a lot about hypothyroidism, and so apparently my cat has it. And he's been responding well to medication, and they're wanting to keep him until this afternoon. And if he keeps responding well to the medication, then he gets to come home. And then in 7 days, we take him to his vet and we talk about treatment options. I am so fucked up over this. Luckily, though, like I said, I have good credit, so I was able to apply for. And I'm only telling you this because maybe if you have a sick animal or something, and you're like, "Fuck," because the hospital bill is $2,000, $2,000, easy, and that's the low end that I've approved. And who knows what's going to happen later today? But like I said, I don't care. I will not get breast implants. How's that? There it is. I was already going to go a little bit into debt over boobs. So Henry, fuck. Oh fuck, I'm so fucked up about this. I'm so sad. I'm trying to be positive. My little Lucy is my other cat, and she keeps just she's off, obviously. She keeps running around trying to look for him. They chase each other in the morning, / he just chases her and terrorizes her, and now she's running but looking behind. I don't know. It's so sad. So good positive vibes, please. Yeah, apparently with daily medication as a treatment, one of the treatments is he'll be able to live a happy, healthy, fuller rest of his life. So all good news. And his temperature came down. He had a temp when he went in. Oh, that poor little boy. I just want him back in so how I got him, I thought that this would be a fun time to tell a few stories about my cat. I know I don't understand people who are like, oh, crazy cat lady. It's so insane to me. First of all, I believe I've been watching a lot of Disney movies, and we'll comment on how I feel about Beauty and the Beast in a little bit. I'm watching these Disney movies as an adult, and there's a lot of holes in these stories, but all of the cats in all of these stories are so shitty. So I think we are raised to believe that the dog is great and the cat sucks. Cause that's not how my cat is. And so while when I bathe my cat, I have to get into the bathtub with him. So I always make jokes that I bathe with my cat. We don't sit, I wear a bathing suit, so it's not creepy, I don't know where the line is. So I put on a bathing suit and then we take a bath together. And it's not like we're lounging and we both have a martini and it's like bath time. Like, it's not that. Like, it's, we have, like, it's like I have to hold him under the water, and it's just, he's really big, so it's easier for me to just get in the bath with him. When I told people that, they're like, you bathe with your cat? The double standard there is so stupid. If I bathed with 400 dogs, if I was like, I have 400 dogs and I take a bath with every single one of them, you guys wouldn't bat a fucking eye, except for maybe that I had 400 dogs. Let's just say I had a dog and I bathed with the dog. You guys wouldn't, you'd be like, oh, you're getting in there to clean the dog. But because he's a cat, everyone's like, you take a bath with your cat? So yeah, I'm going to talk about my cat today. He's my best friend. Guys, he's my best friend. Fuck, I don't know. This episode, I got some funny stories in here, hopefully. So I've never been a cat person. Like, I wanted a cat when I was a little kid, and my dad told me cats were dumb and dogs were better, so then we got a dog. And my mom got a cat when I was a little kid, when I was like in junior high, and I didn't live with my mom. Like, I saw her like every other weekend, and but so she got a cat and she let me name the cat, and I had this massive obsession with Jason Priestley at the time, like massive. Like, I was convinced Jason Priestley and I were going to get married. I got a cake with his face on it once. That's how much I love Jason Priestley. So my mom gets this cat and I named it Jason Bradford Turner because our last name is Turner, my mom and my stepdad. And Bradford is Jason Priestley's middle name. And this cat was awesome. Like, the cat was kind of mean, and everyone was like, this cat is really mean. But when I met the kitten, when Jason was a kitten, I met him. And I was really, really sick when I went to go visit her the first weekend I met this cat. Like, bedridden, sick, right? And which raises a bunch of flags on why I went to go visit her in the first place. But we've already established that I didn't have the best parents alive. That's an understatement. But this cat did not leave my side. So this cat and I became like buddies. And, he reminds me a lot of Henry. It was just like how he was just like he was just like a friend, but I've never really been into cats. And I was working at the sports bar, Big Wangs, that I talk about sometimes. And this girl named Carrie. Oh man, I debated if I should use her name because I doubt she listens to this. If she does, what are you going to do? What is she going to do? Not using her last name? Prove it. So this broad was out of her mind. She might be not out of her mind now. Who knows? I haven't talked. I saw her like 2 years ago, and she asked about Henry, like as an afterthought. Well, she goes, do you still have Henry? And I was like, yeah, bitch, I wouldn't abandon my animal. Sorry, I know that's mean. So her and her boyfriend were going to break up, and she bought a puppy, and the boyfriend didn't want Henry, and she didn't want Henry. And so she only could handle the puppy. And so she was like, I need to get rid of my cat. I don't know how to get rid of my cat. And like after a week of listening to her bitch about getting rid of this cat, it just came out of my mouth. I was like, I'll take him. Whoa, who said that, right? And she's like, really? And I like I'll take him. 3 words changed my life forever. And at the time, like I said, like 3 months prior, I had written a letter to my father severing ties, right? So I was real fragile emotionally. And I told her, I was like, look, I'll take the cat, but if he's a nightmare, you have to take him back. And if you want him back, but we love each other, too bad. Like, it's like, and I was like, and you pay the pet deposit. Which basically, I was like, I know those are really unreasonable terms. Like, basically, if you want him back, too fucking bad. And if I don't want him anymore, you have to take him, right? And she was like, yeah, fine. So she brings Henry over. Her and her ex-boyfriend bring Henry over, and they, it was sad. They were sad. He's a good little boy, and he was about a year old when they brought him over. It's so funny too, because they were like, now he's really shy, so he'll hide a lot. Like, don't open the door you'll have to get in and out quickly, because if you leave the door open, he'll dart for the front door. I have this big window in my kitchen that I leave open and has like a screen. Oh, that he lays by all the time. God, I miss my cat. He's like, I'm not going to cry this episode. I might cry, but I've done a lot of crying in the last 24 hours. So now that I've got the good news that he's responding to meds, there's an answer to what's going on. We're just waiting on a couple of more tests. Fuck, this is awful. This is so fucking awful. Like, I just want to know, you know what I mean? But I just want him home. But like they were like, we're a little concerned about that kitchen window. Like, he's going to probably try and like burrow his way out to get out. This motherfucker is not shy at all. He does not hide. He loves people. I leave the door open all the time when I go outside to water the plants. He does come outside sometimes to smell the plants, but he goes right back in. Everyone I know that knew this broad was like, yeah, you saved that cat. Well, I don't have a puppy that terrorizes him, and I don't get blackout drunk and physically fight my boyfriend every night. Sorry, lady who is probably not listening to this, but yeah, let me just put it this way. A mutual friend of ours threw her going away party when she was moving after she broke up with her boyfriend, and they severed ties, and she got kicked out of her going away party because she was feeding her puppy Jack Daniels. That's all you need to know about the woman who, oh man. And she's also unfriended me and friended me more times than I can count on Facebook. You probably ask why I keep accepting it. I don't know. There's a lot of people who I probably wouldn't now, with all the we've talked about all the work I've done about just no, we're good, but 3 months later, she comes to me and she tells me that she's looking into legal, quote, I am looking into legal ways of getting my cat back. Now, here's a couple of things that took place. You know, when you you have a confrontation and then later you're like, man, I should have said that. This is one of those times that I flawlessly said one of those I should have said that in the moment. She looks at me and she goes, and it's crazy, don't get me wrong, I still stand by it. But she looks at me and she says, I'm looking into legal ways of getting my cat back. And I looked her in the eye and I said, the only way you're getting that cat back is if I'm in a body bag. And I don't think you're fucking prepared to do something like that. And then she just looked at me and backed away. And then she backed the fuck off because that's my cat, right? A couple years ago, I had posted a photo of Henry and he's a big boy. She DMs me and she goes, hi, I don't want to be one of those people, but I gave you Henry because I knew you'd be a good cat mom. And I know you're a good cat mom, but he looks a little overweight. And I'm kind of worried about him. And I was like, fuck off, right? I mean, yeah, now he has a thyroid issue because he was overweight, and he was overweight when I got him. He's a big boy too. But yeah, she backed the fuck off, and I was like, the only way you're getting this cat back, I am willing to die over this animal. I love this animal. Also, I know how she treated the animal and how she treats her animals. I mean, maybe she's better and healthier now, who knows? But oh man, that fucking animal is oh, I lost my telephone. Oh no, where is my phone? I need it in here in order to, guys, well, I have the ringtone on. I changed the ringtone. It's so weird. Why would I forget my phone? I changed the ringtone this morning to Live in the Villa Loca, dun 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 dun. Oh, this is bad though, guys. Well, so if did I lose it? Well, it's only bad, that way if someone calls, i.e. the vet, it's at least a happy ringtone when I answer it, because that song, dun, 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 but we're flying solo then, because I had a whole bunch of stuff I was going to talk about that I can't remember now. Oh no, where the hell is my cell phone? Well, here we are. It's got to be in here. Whatever. I guess this episode, there's no cat, so I'm just going to panic about my phone. But yeah, so I saved that cat, and that cat and I are best friends. That cat is my best friend. He's so fucking funny. All right, that's enough cat stuff. It did lead me to remember a story that, I don't know if I've told you guys this yet, but the story I think about all the time. I'm like, you know what? This is how we know our phones are a weird attachment to us. That I feel like I need to stop this and find my phone. I haven't gone anywhere, and the vet told me she's not going to call me. She's like, I don't want to give you a set time, because I called last night because they were like, we'll call you in a few hours, and 4.5 hours passed. So I finally called. She was like, I was just about to call you, and I'm like, So she said she's going to call at 3. Just good vibes, just so many good vibes. You guys, I will not be okay without that cat. I know that sounds dramatic. He's my best friend. And have just been through so much together. Good vibes only. But it did remind me of a story, and I'm not sure if I've ever told you guys this story. Fuck, I really wish I had my phone, because I have all these. All right, I'm gonna let it go. Right, let it go. My buddy years ago. Oh god, that's so funny. My buddy years ago had a potbelly pig. Right. He had a little teapot pig or whatever, that tiny pig that doesn't get very big, right? And then he had to go to rehab, right? Because he has drug alcohol problems, so he has to go to rehab. So he asks his friends to watch his pig, who's his best friend, right? So so I don't even know if I should tell this story because of what I'm waiting on and dealing with, and I shouldn't be thinking it's so funny. It wasn't like it wasn't like Henry best friend. Like he'd only had it like a year, right? Not that that makes a difference. Okay, so while he's in rehab, he comes back and he gets his pig back, and his pig starts to grow. It starts to really grow like to the size of a farm animal pig, and the pig's a mess. The pig's like literally ripping off cupboards off in his kitchen and like eating the cupboards. Like pigs are pretty like strong and like they eat everything, right? They'll do like so. This pig is like huge, and he's like, I don't know what to do. My pig is so big now. Like I don't know if I can keep it. Like it's like eating everything, destroying everything. And then it came out, my other buddy goes, yo, dude, your pig died while you were in rehab, and everyone was too freaked out that you'd have a relapse. So they got another pig that looked like your old pig, but they got the wrong pig. They got the like wrong kind of pig. They accidentally bought like a farm animal pig. Oh, that story's much funnier before my cat's in the hospital. So sorry, John, my friend John. Where the fuck is my phone? You all can relate to this, right? Like where you're like, what did I do with the phone? I just feel like I'm sitting on it. Oh man, I might have to pause this and look for the phone. I'm sorry. I know that sounds a little crazy. We're pausing it. Is this different from the time that I had to pause it because I had diarrhea? Remember that? Okay, I found my phone. That sounds so, look, I know if you're like, wow, did she really need her phone? She couldn't have waited another 30 minutes. Like how much anxiety I have right now with my cat not being home. I'm just not going to add to it, So yeah, I wanted to know where my phone was. And I knew it wasn't gone, but like I want to have it by me at all times just in case the vet calls, right? All right, so we're all okay. I did want to tell one more cat story. No, I don't. Well, yeah, we'll tell it. So it gets really hot, right? And Henry's a big boy, and so I got him shaved. Whew, that was a nightmare. And I want to do it again because he was so happy once he was shaved. He looked so stupid. Like he just looked like he's so big, and they didn't shave the top of his head. They just shaved, or they didn't shave his head or his paws, but they just shaved his whole body. He looked like a baby rhino, he looked so stupid. God, I miss that animal so much. It's been like 20 hours, and guys. Just lots of good vibes, okay? But so I hear this place, and they were really great. This is how great my cat is. So I hear this place, and I go and I'm asking all these questions. I don't have Henry with me yet. And the line is getting longer and longer. And the guy is like answering him, but like looking at the line, and then answering him and looking at the line. And I turn and I was like, yeah, I get there's a line. I don't care. He's my best friend. Like I'm going to make sure that you guys are going to take really good care of him before I bring him in here to get his whole body shaved. Calm down, right? I am that crazy. Oh God, this story is so, I looked so insane. So I bring him in, and it's the first time I've ever put him in his carrier. Right? No, I hadn't taken him to cause he had all his shots and whatever. But the first time I put him in his carrier, and the only time he's ever been in a car, except for the one time that I had to bug bomb my apartment, and that was a nightmare of a day. Like I thought we'd just like hang out in my car. Like you sleep up there. Why can't you just sleep down here? He flipped out. But we ended up, just standing, and he tried to dive through the window. Hair everywhere. God, I miss him so much. But every time he's ever been in a car, someone's giving him away. So he is wailing crying, and I'm wailing crying, and I get there and I hand the woman the thing, and I'm wailing crying, and I'm like, and she's like, don't worry. And this is fair for her to say, but like not something you say to someone who's literally, who's having a breakdown over their cat. Jesus, I'm a crazy cat lady. I don't give a fuck. He's like, she's like, don't worry. Like, they're not like dogs. Like dogs, we can just like pin them down and they'll be fine. Like we pin them down, we shave them, they're fine. Cats will go from 0 to 100 in like 10 seconds, have a heart attack and die. Don't worry, we'll take good care of them. I was like, what? So she takes the cat. They go in the back, and then she comes back and she goes, and here's your carrier, hands me back the carrier. She's like, can you wash it before you come back? And I was like, I guess. And she's like, he peed all over you and it. I was covered in cat piss, and I didn't know. Like, I was so distraught. I had covered in cat piss. So we go back, and it's going to be like an 8-hour ordeal. Not really, that's a lie, like 4 hours. But still, that's like 29 years in, Kim Kral life when her cat's not home. So you can't imagine these 20 hours have been literal 20 hours. So they were like, you can't be here. Because I was like, can I just stay with him? And they were like, no, because it's not going to be, like, the cat's not going to look at you and be like, oh, she's here supporting you. He's going to think that you're doing this to him, and it like fucks up your relationship. So it's better if you're just not here. Which that's like all this, like now as I'm saying it out loud, I'm like, I have air conditioning. He's fine. We're going to not do this to him again. But he was so happy once it was done. So it was a 4-hour process. I called twice I called 3 times and showed up twice. Like once I went back and I just like was like casually walking around the office, just like looking like I was just like checking for dust or something. You know what I mean? Trying to look casual. And I was just like, oh, I'm Henry's mom. I was just curious how he's doing back there. Just checking in. And they were like, he's fine. And then I came back and I bought a toy. I was like, oh, I just bought him a toy just because I want to know how he's doing. And then I called. They were like, what the fuck is it? So I like 5 times in 4 hours I checked on him. I'm crazy. And then when I showed up, this is how cute it is. This is what a good boy he is. I show up to get him. And they were like, here's the cat. He was great. He was so great. They're like, your cat is wonderful. And, we love him. And then the guy who washes the cats comes out and he goes, are you Henry's mom? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, I just wanted to come out and let you know that like your cat is awesome. And I was like, oh, thanks. And they're like, no, like usually we have to like tie them up for a little bit, have them like really adjust and like be okay. But your cat just like laid and let us do whatever we wanted to him. And I wanted to just come out and let you know that is so rare that he's such a good cat. He's such a good cat, you guys. I like he lets me. I'm not really worried about giving him medication because like he just trusts me. So he just knows, like, I clip his nails, I give him baths. Like, he just knows that he doesn't like that stuff, but he lets me do it because I don't know. Oh, I'm so sad, you guys. I've talked about him for 40 minutes and I got off of all right, let's talk about some poop. I have 2 stories I'd like to get out. I want to tell you about how I feel about Beauty and the Beast. First of all, the horses in Disney movies are so fucking funny. Rewatch Disney, like the horse on Beauty and the Beast, like the face it makes all the time, like when the Beast is like killing all the wolves, like the face I think about 3 or 4 times a day now, and I laugh out loud. So fucking funny. Their facial expressions are fucking gold. But like, there's a lot of holes in the Beauty and the Beast story. First of all, like, why wouldn't he just tell her, hey, there's a curse, I'm actually a human, so if we could just get to know each other. And maybe there's, like, a stipulation on the curse that he's not allowed to tell anyone. So, like, when she calls him Beast, like, she calls him Beast, hi, Beast. Don't you think he'd be like, yo, I'm Adam. My name's Adam. You can just call me Adam. You don't have to call me Beast. Like, he's not going around being like, girl. She's like, Beast. And then also, so they're supposed to be in France. And I understand why they're not speaking French because it's an American Disney movie. I get that. But why the fuck is the only thing with a fucking French accent that little candle? Everyone else has a regular accent. And then they just sort of a American accent. And then they just sometimes, like mademoiselle and bonjour are literally the only 2 French words they use the whole thing. I just feel like they should have just not done any French or all French. I can't stop thinking about it. And Gaston is like we knew he was a bad guy when we were kids, but he's like a predator, like a real predator. Like it was good he died, I don't know. I can't stop thinking about it. The Beast part. Like, why wouldn't he just be like, and his name is Adam? I've brought this up to several people, and one of my girlfriends looked it up because she was like, you're right. He probably does have, like, what was his human name? Why wouldn't you just be like, oh, you can call me Adam, but that doesn't, right? And like, I mean, we've already established the bestiality shit. Like, I would never, if my cat was starting to talk and we were getting to know each other on a talking level, there would never be a moment where I would develop feelings for my cat, right? Like, she's like, oh my God, I'm starting to have feelings for this Beast. Like, there's just a lot of holes. And then I love that when she goes back and just tells her father, like, the villagers are like, we're going to go kill this Beast. And the dad was like all freaked out about the beast, but then the daughter's like, nah, he's cool. And he's like, all right, I'm fully on board without asking any questions. Like, my daughter's been held captive for who knows how long, right? We don't really know in the thing. But like, there's zero questions. Zero questions. He's like, all right, I'm on board. I trust you. Which maybe I have a lot of suspicious people in my life that if I were to say that, they wouldn't fully be on board and trust me. Maybe that's a lie. I don't know. I think just like, oh, beast, call him Adam. I don't know. And also, why is the candlestick the only thing with a French accent? I mean, I guess it would be really weird if they all had French accents, and that sort of gives him like, oh, I guess the little dust, the woman Dust, the French maid. She's a French maid. Way too sexy, right? Like way too sexy. Like I'm sexually attracted to the French dust mop. What is it called? Dust. That's gonna bother me. Feather duster? No. Someone DM me and tell me that. I love that when I ask these questions in the podcast, some of you guys will DM me the answers. Like when I couldn't figure out what that camp was called, a guy that I was like a counselor for, like in high school, a guy I went to high school with DM'd me that day that he listened and goes, hey, it was called Outdoor Lab. I was like, I love that. This is like my own personal Google. Because I'll have questions about stuff like the name of the beast, but then my brain is so busy. I've got so much going on at any moment in time. My brain is so busy that like I'll just forget to Google that. But I'll bring it up a lot. I just won't think to Google, what's the beast's name. Oh man, I can't stop thinking about it. And I've been rewatching a lot of these. I watched Cinderella, and then I tried to watch Cinderella 2. Not good. Not a good movie. I don't know if you need, I don't feel like anybody needs to know that or hear that. I'm sure you all were probably like, yeah, probably isn't a good movie. First of all, like it's new and none of their voices are the same. You probably wouldn't know the voices weren't, I mean, obviously because all the people who were the voices of the original Cinderella are for sure dead. But like, you probably wouldn't know that they weren't the original voices had you not watched the first Cinderella before you watched the second one. It wasn't good. Oh God, guys, this is actually really helpful. I got a weekly therapy session. It's for a half hour. I have not forgotten, but I have a pit in my stomach, but I've been able to be a little distracted. You ready for some poop scoop? You ready for some poop scoop? I forgot that this had happened to me. Now kind of happened to me. There's a lot of traumatic stuff that happened to me around poop. You gotta blame my parents, I feel like. Like, my mom has always been super weird about pooping. Like, I remember, like, she was with my stepdad. They were, like, I'm gonna say 8 years into their marriage, like 10 years into the relationship at this point, and I was at their house one day. My stepdad's upstairs, and my mom comes to me, and she goes, hey, honey, I gotta poop. And she's whispering. And I was like, all right, why are you whispering? She's like, well, I don't want Ken to know. That's my stepdad. And I was like, pretty positive he knows you poop. Like, I think that, and she's like, shh. I was like, I don't think that's a secret. Everyone does. So everyone's super weird about poop in my family, I think, but definitely my mother. And so one time I pooped they had this townhome in Lakewood, Colorado, and I pooped in the downstairs bathroom. And it was just going to be like a quickie. You know what I mean? Like, when you're going to be hunkered up for a little while, or when it's just going to be like, oh, real quick, I'm out of there, right? You can pass it off as a pee. Like, no one's going to be like, what the fuck's you doing there? You know what I mean? And why are we asked that stuff? We know what the fuck people are doing in there. Why? Like, when people are pounding on the door and it's like, what's taking you so long? You obviously know what's taking so long. You do it too. Sometimes you shit a bunch. You know what I mean? Like, humans, can we just give each other? It's one of my biggest pet peeves is when people pound on the door. When you fucking, when you pound on the door when you're in the bathroom. It's like I've found news that someone died while I was in the bathroom, in a public bathroom. I needed a minute. You know what I mean? Like, if you are having an emergency, that's sorry, but that's the bathroom. Like, just wait. It is annoying when you are waiting for a long time and then out walks like 6 girls and you're just like, okay, come on. Or the old nightclub I worked at, like, we had one employee bathroom and they would, like, 6 of the servers would come out of the bathroom. And it's like, do coke upstairs. Like, there's a whole upstairs area. No one gives a fuck that you're doing coke. No one gives a fuck. Do it upstairs. I'm bartending. Place is packed. I'm going to pee my pants. Do your blow upstairs. I said that once and they were like, what? So one time I'm in the downstairs bathroom of my mom's and stepdad's condo. And I thought it was going to be a real quick poop. So I pooped, and it was big, guys. It was really big. It was one poop, and it was like, I'm going to say 9 inches, real thick, wouldn't flush, wouldn't make it down the hole, right? Wouldn't make it down the hole. Flushed, and pee, toilet paper, everything went down, and then that thing just laid on top. And I didn't pull it out of the toilet and try and put it in the trash like I did at the Silver Lake Lounge a couple years ago that I talked about, I think, a few episodes ago. I didn't know what to, but I was home, and like, I don't know, I was probably like 15, which is already a nightmare of an age. You know what I mean? You're already so fucking awkward. Everything's a nightmare. You're always embarrassed. So I walked out, and my mom has already instilled in me that pooping is like real shameful and should be a secret. So I walk out and whisper to my mom, and I tell her what happened. And she's like, "You did what in there?" And then she tells Ken, my stepdad, and they're like, "Well, you've got to fix that." Which is like, I was like, I don't know how to. It won't go down. So they told me to go get a hanger and break it up. So I'm just in the bathroom breaking up my own poop with a hanger, just crying in shame. It ended up working. It went down the toilet. But I think about that all the time. Just like, but that like, there's a rumor that goes around, or there's like a story going around that this kid was talking about his poop knife, that he had his family had like a designated knife for when you poop too big, and they just like kept it. Look up poop knife. There's a whole story about it. It's like the family put so they had a knife that they hung in the bathroom, and if you pooped too big, you just got the poop knife and you broke it up, which makes perfect sense to me. But I guess he like said it in his classroom full of people, full of other students, and they're like, "Poop knife?" And then he explained it, and then they made a meme out of it, and now people make fun of him all over the world. So I guess, I mean, that's a way to go viral, I suppose. So we had to use that. And it also reminded me, my mom used to live on this, oh God, guys, I'm so all over the map. So all over the map. I do have a lot of really cool people around me that I was able to like call, and they care about Henry, and they all, have been leaving support and texting me and calling. My best friend's going to come over later and just like hang out with me while we wait for the doctor to call. So it's, I don't know. That leads me to my one lucky broad, right? From Poop Scoop to I'm one lucky broad. I'm one lucky broad that I do have like people that are like family to me, that like really care, and really just like my buddy Whitney came over last night, and we went for a really long hike, and he just let me ramble, and not even about Henry. I don't even know what I was talking about. I just needed to like talk, so I didn't think about my baby boy. So I'm one lucky broad for that. And I'm one lucky broad that like I listen to my gut now, like there were so many years that I wouldn't listen to my gut because I was told I was I was gaslit quite a bit. Growing up, that my feelings weren't real, they weren't happening, I made it up. Stuff that had happened in my childhood either wasn't that bad and I should get over it, or it simply wasn't true. And so it took me a long time to listen to my gut, and your gut is always right? And I'm one lucky broad that I learned that, because yesterday when he was panting, then he stopped, then he was panting, then he was fine for a while. But like my gut was like, something is wrong. You need to do something. So I'm one lucky broad that I listen to my gut. I got amazing people around me, and that my booty bear is being taken care of. That's what I call him. He's Booty Bear. I don't even know where that nickname came from. I have a bunch of songs I sing to him, to, the Scooby-Doo theme song. Booty, booty, bood, where are you? Now I'm like, please come home to me now. Poop Scoop. Oh, what I was thinking about the other day. Okay, so you know how the mask thing is a massive thing right now. The mask thing is, dude, it's political. Our president finally is wearing a mask. Last night he said this pandemic is going to get worse in America before it gets better, which is really fucking scary, because this guy is able to put his ego aside and not make it about him and his failures for 1 second and say that. And he's wearing a mask. So I'm like, what the fuck? They tell you that now you're scared because you weren't scared before because you knew you were going to be okay. Now he's scared. And that, like, I don't know, that. But the mask thing's such a controversy, which is so stupid. I don't know how. I think I bring it up every episode. So stupid. So stupid. Wear a mask. Jesus Christ. Now it's to the point where I don't even if someone on Facebook starts to like spout off about how wearing a mask is like they're right not to, and blah blah blah. I know that people are like, you should try to educate, and I just unfriend. I literally I don't care who you are. I'm just going to unfriend you, because that's all I need to know about you. You're a moron and you don't care about other people. That's all I need to know about you. So this kid that I went to high school with, posted this big long thing. It's so funny. These people are posting these long things about how wearing a mask makes you a sheep and like you're a puppet and you're following the crowd. And then at the very bottom of this long post, it's like copy and pasted. Like these aren't even, I called all of you a sheep, but these aren't even my opinion or like my original thoughts. It's just, it's like irony or hypocrisy or some bullshit. But this kid, and then it reminded me of, and I don't even know if this is that interesting. I requested this girl's friendship. So this kid's named David, and he had a sister. And they rode on the same bus in high school and junior high that we did. They didn't go to the same elementary school, and I didn't ride the bus in elementary school. I lived close enough to walk. But in junior high and high school, I rode the bus to school. And so they're on the route. Okay, I don't know how to explain this. I'm going to try and explain it so you have the picture. So like probably a mile and a half from my house was a massive prison. Like such a big prison that Timothy McVeigh was in it for a couple of years. Like that's how the national prison, I guess. I don't even know what it's called. But he was in there waiting trial for years, right? And so next to the prison, off of like a major street, I lived in, call it like Denver-ish area, like a suburb of Denver. So it wasn't like a small ass town. It's a pretty big suburb. And, but off of a pretty big street next to the prison were like 7 little houses that were like all the same size, multiple colors, you know, like bright green, bright pink. And we would pick and it was basically like the families of the workers in the prison, I think, but it wasn't that many, and it was a huge prison. But I know that I don't know why they got to live in the house next to the prison. I don't know if that's a get to situation or for who was forced to, whatever. But we would pick up these 3 kids. Oh my God, I forgot about Irina. Oh my God, I tried to force so many people to be my friend. So crazy. A lot of the foreign exchange kids, I tried to make be my friend. Because my best friend Aspen and I saw that a lot of them didn't have friends, right? Because they were the foreign kids, and kids are mean, and you know, if you're different, they're like, "Ooh, you're scary," right? So Aspen and I weren't that way. We saw like the foreign exchange students sitting alone, and I think I've already told you this because it's not. We also did it to one senior girl. She didn't have any friends because she was crazy, but we didn't find that out till later. But we'd go up to these foreign exchange students and we'd be like, "Hi, I'm Kim. I'm Aspen." And then in unison, like creeps. And we kind of looked the same too. Like we just sort of looked the same. We were like, my head was much bigger. I don't know. We couldn't decide if my head was really big and she had a really small head. We could never. And then we got our caricatures drawn at prom. And it was clear the guy thought that I had a really big head, or knew, like, it was clear that my head was really big and hers was really small. Because the characters, mine was the whole page and hers was just like a third of the page, right? Like it was like, so, but we looked the same, and we'd walk up and I'd be like, "Hi, I'm Kim." And she'd be like, "I'm Aspen." And then together we'd go, "Want to be our friend?" So creepy. So we'd sit at the lunch table with all these kids that barely spoke any English because they were just like, "Okay, I guess I'll be your friend." And then we just sit there and try to be their friend, which I think is nice now looking back, because a lot, like, no one wanted to be their friend because they were different, and kids are afraid of, well, actually adults are afraid of different things too. All right, good things are happening. They have not called me about Henry yet, but that is 3 hours away. In 3 hours, I will start to panic. I'm going to wash my hair, put this thing out. Oh God. So, we picked up, I forgot about Irina. God, I harassed that poor girl too. I was like, be my friend. And yeah, I don't know. I wasn't the most popular girl. So this girl, Carla, would get on the bus. This is so weird. This girl, so she was David's sister, and David was really popular. Like, he was like a football player, popular, like super cute. He's an anti-masker now, so he's gone. But, his sister would sit next to me and not say a single word for years. She'd sit next to me and I'd be like, "Hi," and I'd face her and I'd talk, and she would just look forward. I think she told me her name once, and then sometimes she'd nod. And like there was always seemed to be like her hair was like always this like tight, very hairsprayed, like half ponytail or ponytail, and never smiled, never flinched, nothing. Sometimes she looked like she might cry, and I would just sit there on the way to school and just ramble at her. I requested her friendship the other day on Facebook. I found her. We have no mutual friends, which is not shocking. I know she wasn't friendly in high school. Like, not friendly. I just wonder what the fuck was going on. She also lived next to a prison. So who knows why she was quiet. But then she had this crazy girl that was like, "Hi, you want to be my friend?" And I know you're thinking 20 years later, I'm still creeping and asking her to be my friend. I'm not going to message her. I probably won't message her. I might message her. And then I forgot about Irina. Irina did the same thing. She'd get on the bus. So when Carla wasn't there, I'd sit next to Irina, or maybe I gave up on Carla and I went to Irina. I don't know. Or maybe I just split my time because I thought they both wanted to be my friend, but Irina too would just look straight forward as I rambled at her. Jesus, that's so embarrassing now. I maybe I'll look up Irina and try and add her on Facebook too. It's so creepy, so creepy. But they live next to this prison. So wild. Oh, God. I forgot to email Brian Hodges. I will this week so we can see what happens. I have a Saturday night social club that we all sit on Zoom and talk, and I told them all about Brian, and they were like, you should email him right now. Well, we're online. Like, we're all here. And I was like, no, because I'm nervous. And they're like, he for sure turned down that, like, private investigators. Probably like, what? And then I'm going to email him. He's like, girl, leave me the fuck alone. I'm not going to give up until he says hi. Oh, how do we want to end this? I got about 10 minutes left. Oh, God, guys, send me happy prayers, good thoughts, whatever you're thinking, whatever you do in terms of your spirituality, all the good, positive shit I could use to get my baby boy back home. I know I always say this, it's all over the map. That's just how my brain works, with or without my cat in the hospital. My cat is in the hospital. Oh, I hate this so much. I just want him home. All right, we talked about that. We'll end on this. I broke up with a boyfriend years ago. He broke up with me. He dumped me. And then I wrote this down. I don't remember what made me think of it. I talked about him like a couple of episodes ago. His name is Rob. He broke my heart, and then he married a girl I used to model with, and now they're having a baby. And it's a boy. I watched the gender reveal party. Gross, right? Who has those? And I know, like, you're probably like, oh, are you still upset? No, not even a little bit. But I follow his wife on Instagram, and she follows me, like, because we used to work together. And I feel like it'll look more bitter if I unfollow her, and I'm not bitter. I actually kind of enjoyed their wedding. It was really pretty. Like, I don't have feelings for this guy at all. Like, I'd probably have to, like, really squint and be like, oh, it's Rob, if I saw him in person. Like, it wouldn't register. Like, but after we broke up, so they had their gender reveal party, and I was like, oh my God, remember that? Like, after we broke up, I was devastated, right? Like, this was one of my first, like, major relationships and major breakups. So I was devastated. And so, like, a month or two after we broke up, he text messages me. So gross. This is so gross. Sort of braggy, but so gross. He text messages me, and he's like, I just want to ask you to do me a favor. Please, don't stop giving blowjobs. You have the mouth of an angel. What the fuck? I was like, what? He's like, that is one of the things I'm going to miss about you. The mouth of an angel. So being the comedian I am, I called my boss, Mikey, at Big Wangs, and I told him all about it, and then we made a name tag that said Mouth of an Angel. And he still now is like, well, you do have a mouth of an angel. And then Rob's best friend, who is married, they've since divorced, shocking, DM'd me about me having the mouth of an angel. And he unfriended me when he was when Rob got into a new relationship with some other broad. And I asked his wife, I was like, oh, Mark unfriended me. And she goes, oh, because I found DMs that he was sending to Rob's new girlfriend about, like, trying to hook up. Gross, right? And then when he found out the mouth of an angel, I was like, oh, I probably shouldn't tell you that your husband's also asking me about my glorious mouth. So I don't know, it's a gross story, but it's also sort of a bragging, and then also not an invitation to email me about my blowjobs. Let me say it very clearly. This is not an invitation to comment on getting a blowjob, one of your dick pics. I have now received 5 dick pics in the last week. A lot of people blocked. Instagram doesn't give a fuck. It's an assault. It literally is. It shakes you up. The other night when I was going to bed, some guy sent me a DM, and I opened it to, like, mute him, and there were 3 dick pics, and I, like, dropped my phone. It's scary. It made my heart beat. It's awful. Do not send me any more dick pics. Also, fuck you, Instagram. They were like, we don't think this goes against our community guidelines. And I was like, you know what? Fuck you. So we blocked all those people. But again, it's a funny story. It's super weird. It's definitely me bragging, but it is not an invitation. I saw this great quote by comedian friend of mine, Kate Quigley, who you should check out. She is hilarious and beautiful. And she was like, hey, yeah, she was just like, because if a woman posts a sexy photo, it is not an invitation for you. It doesn't mean she's like looking for sex and like, this is your call. I'm butchering the quote, but yeah, because I post sexy photos doesn't mean that I'm like, hey, all you men come. Like, it's empowering. And I think women should be able to post things that make them feel beautiful without getting 100 dick pics. God, there's a whole movement going on right now. For the last couple of years, Google it, crack a newspaper. That's a weird way to end. But yeah, don't send me dick pics. I have the mouth of an angel. Send photos. Send good vibes for my booty bear. I will be posting later today, hopefully that he's home. I don't want to post anything on Facebook, even though if people would listen to this right away. I'm not posting that he's not okay is just makes it real. So I'd rather just be in a healthy denial and do all of the stuff that I need to do, like listen to doctors, take him to the ER like I did, and just, take care of him and myself. So, and Lucy, of course, Lucy. So just send positive vibes for my booty bear. Thanks for listening. I'm still waiting on Crawl Space Live. I'm gonna cultivate some guests. Hopefully record with them this week or next. I got a little hiccup in my week, so probably next. And hopefully contracts will go through and we'll have a whole other crawl space for you to listen to. That's so exciting. That's exciting for me. In the meantime, please subscribe, download this podcast. And if you get a second, rate and review. The review is so huge. If you leave a good review, it takes a minute and it just means the fucking world to me. And thank you to everyone who has left a review so far. Like I said, it means the world to me. And for everyone who's listening and sending support, you can follow me on everything, KYMKRAL. I will be back next Wednesday. Thanks for listening. Bye.